So here you are with a very short, thrown together live event.
Yeah, but much needed. Had to do this one.
Yeah, but geez, it's sad. I don't even have any clean clothes, so I just had to throw something on so everybody doesn't see me naked on camera.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah, ratings would go down. So
yeah.
Yes, one of the people that was calling for this.
Yes.
So
I mean, it's news that we knew would come eventually one day. I just don't think we were ready for it to happen today. I thought I told her this. I thought around 75, 3 more years, and I think he would call it quits. But do you want to make the announcement, Herb, or for anybody who's been living under a rock?
So we get the announcement today. Coach Saban is officially retiring.
Right.
A lot of people, I guess, I won't say a lot, but people did see it coming for a little while. He was clearly not happy with NIL and the way things were going. Right. I don't think the first couple of years, I don't even think we navigated that well, to be honest. But this is a good point here. I thought that this season kind of revitalized him, and it was one of his better coaching jobs. And I thought that kind of, really kind of brought it back. So let's back up here though. So I'm going from one job to another, right? Yeah. And you're always gonna, they say those. Maybe I'm being over dramatic, but people always say, "Where were you when you got the news?" I look down, and one of our Michigan guys, Ahoda, I see the text. And it says Harbaugh broke Saban.
He actually sent me the same message, and I was like, haha, very funny.
He's cheating on us both. Is that what it is?
I just laughed. I was like, very funny. Haha, I'll take that one.
I knew what it meant. I knew what it meant.
See, I hadn't received any notifications about Saban retiring. And
I hadn't, but I knew what it meant.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
It just
So,
I didn't think, like I said, after this season, I didn't think this was it,
And to that point, I mean, when Herb talks about after this season, I mean, when you look at how bad we were playing after that South Florida game, I didn't think we were making it to the playoffs. No. Playoffs?
Talking about playoffs?
Yeah, about playoffs? To see the turnaround we had, to win the SEC championship, to make it to the Rose Bowl, I thought Saban was like, okay, we still got hope here. I'm going to come back and make sure we get another natty before I leave. But, it all good things must come to an end.
Why?
I don't know why. And I'm not sure if you remember this, but
whoever came up with that needs to be shot.
Yeah. And so I started thinking, like, were the signs there? That's one question I posted, was like, were the signs there that he was going to retire? One thing that comes to mind is the fact that he bought that big house in Jupiter, Florida. It's like a $16 million mansion in Jupiter, Florida this past summer, I believe, or maybe in August. And I was like, anybody who knows that is like, okay, that's where people go, when they want to retire, they go to Florida. That's going to be his retirement home. But I didn't think it would be after this season.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it kind of caught us off guard. And then, when you start thinking about the future, you start thinking about more transfers, anybody leaving the program, things of that nature. And stop me if I'm jumping the gun here. But, I mean, we already heard that Ryan Williams, the 5-star wide receiver from Alabama, decommitted.
Right. I feel like he's been looking for a reason to not come here for a while.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry. There's several comments, and the one reason why we did it live, we did want to have some comments and stuff about it. But the one that kind of caught my eye there, signs are right in hindsight info right now to Tuscaloosa Wild. So hopefully we get Bama beat on here soon. But I mean, feel free to share or tell us what's going on. So I was in the car by myself, so luckily I didn't. There was nobody I could yell and scream, but it was just kind of like, what the heck? So.
Another sign that I kind of noticed was like when he joined the Pat McAfee show, he became a regular like every Thursday, I believe, on the Pat McAfee show. I think that was kind of his way of kind of inching in to say, hey, the end is coming, and I want to have an outlet when I retire. Obviously, he can do whatever he wants.
Are you saying that he's going to be wearing like tank tops on TV? And
no.
You were just comparing this man to Darth Vader yesterday.
He's not. He still is. But he's not going to follow the Pat McAfee dress code. But what I'm saying is I think we'll see him on TV as a commentator or even a guest commentator, maybe College Game Day, etc. So he'll still be around the football.
I hope he takes a year off first before he does anything. Just enjoy himself. So yeah, I think this is true too. So with the Kirby thing and like you said, the press conferences, it's. I mean, like I said, I've been expecting it for the last couple of years because when NIL really started going, but man, it's still
shocking. Yeah, it is shocking.
Yeah,
he changed everything.
Timing,
he brought hope to a program in which we went through years of absolute BS and just a few losing seasons here and there, and just
the fans were apoplectic.
We were apoplectic, and we had lost hope, and he brought it all back, and he put us on the national spotlight, and obviously what he did was historic. He's the GOAT. I don't think there's any disputing that at all.
Yeah.
And again, I think
want to see
it. We didn't want to see it, but I guess the question lies, the number one question right now is who's next. I mean, we've heard both Herb and I were receiving text messages and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
On who's going to be the next coach. All kinds of names are being thrown out there, but it seems like the number one name is Dan Lanning.
Yes.
As of right
How do you
now.
feel if you're Oregon and you're like, are you calling Dan Lanning and going to his house right now?
I don't know. If you're Oregon, you're like, hold on, Dan. Because he's got a good thing going there. And keep in mind, he's got Dylan Gabriel coming in, who just had a good season at OU. So he's got a good thing going there. Of course, they're moving to the Big Ten. What do you think about this? Do you think this is a good number one? Is there anybody else you would
I like
over
Lanning
him?
from what little I've seen of them. SEC ties are always good because you kind of have to understand. I think Auburn made that mistake with what Harsin coming down there. So I definitely, I'm down with that. So I didn't want to entertain your talk of this jokingly. Yeah. Well, Raj was actually picking other people to replace him. So I feel like the two names I've heard the most are Dan Lanning, which I really like, and Lane Kiffin, which I'm not. Yep. And the Washington coach, right? Too. Yeah. So
I've already made my opinion.
Nobody in Alabama will take
Dabo.
Dabo. I'm sorry. Debo.
Yeah. No.
They might take Debo over Dabo, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dabo. So.
And I've already made my opinion known about Lane. I think Lane is a great offensive coordinator, but he's doing a good job at Ole Miss. I'll give him that.
Right.
But I just thought he was a great coordinator. I never thought he was a great coach.
How do you feel if you're Lane? Yeah, I mean, how do you feel if you're Lane Kiffin? And this is what most Alabama fans I feel like know Dabo. So
we just don't want that.
There's a old flag football buddy checking in. Good to see you out there.
Shout out to Amy.
Under terrible, terrible circumstances though. Actually, that was to me, Raj, not to you. So you can't shout.
Okay, not bad.
Lane just put together like one of his best transfer classes, which he seems to do every year. He had one of his best seasons, Ole Miss. But if Alabama actually offered him the job, he's got to go, right? I mean, that's got to be it. So
but I mean, Bama Beat just made a good point too. Dan Lanning is a defensive mind coach. I don't know if some people forget that or not. He helped build Georgia's defense up to what it is today. So he's got the ties, SEC ties. He's familiar with the SEC. He's young. I'm all for it. That's where, I guess that's where I would go. Of course, there's other names being thrown out there. What was the other one? I know some people text us about Kirby Smart.
Kirby Smart. Kirby's not leaving, and I don't think Sark's leaving.
Yeah.
Those are non-starters. Nobody really from the NFL. I saw a list. I don't know if it was CBS Sports, ESPN. That top candidates, and Bill O'Brien made the list, and I was like, "Are you guys kidding me?"
Yeah,
right
I saw
now?
that. I saw that too. I was like, no.
No. So that was a bad one. Let's go back up into here. So they're gonna make Lanning say no before talking to anyone else. Yeah, I like that thought. So go call him up already.
Yeah,
Nick, we share your sentiments, man. This was like, I haven't even gotten over the loss yet, and then this happened. So
right.
And Bama be always, top choice, good fit. I think he would be able to help keep recruits. Like we said, we've already lost one. But like I said, I do think that he's been wavering the entire time, so it's not a complete shock.
Yeah, and my that's in my opinion regarding the recruits is I'm more focused on the guys that we currently have staying there. That's what I want to know. I want to keep, especially guys like young Justice Haynes, Caleb Downs. I love Milroe. I want to keep Milroe there, but as far as guys like Ryan Williams, 5-star receiver from Saraland, Alabama, he verbally committed to Alabama, and we had him. He hasn't proven himself at the college ranks yet. We just know what he is coming out of high school. That's it. So by him leaving, I mean, it is what it is. We still have some receivers. We'll work with what we have. And again, I just want to focus on keeping everybody that we have. I can only assume that they'll probably have like a players only meeting or something like that. And they're probably texting and calling whatever each other. Hey, let's sit down. Let's chat this out. What does everybody want to do? Some guys will say, of course, some guys are going to go. We know that's going to happen.
Right.
It's just a matter of who and when.
Right. Because you're still playing for Alabama, and you're still
playing for Alabama. And of course, Julian Saban, his name is out there. He's already been on been practicing with the team. He's got familiar with the team. It's a good, it'll be good to see him stay. But again, the guys that played on the team last year and that were on the field, I want to make sure those guys come back next year.
Yep. We'll get caught up. And one reason why we did live is to get comments and get everyone else's feedback. Yeah. So appreciate the comments. Keep it coming there. So I would love, and this was love too, is what he said. Love to have Lane back. So I just don't know about his maturity level. That's the only thing.
That again,
I don't know that they'll put up with that. Or
even now, Lane still
for it on every fourth down.
Lane still jokes around. Yeah, on Twitter, he'll throw these little jabs. I'm like, dude, you can't do that if you're coaching Bama. And Cat just made a nice comment, which is interesting. And
let me catch up to it, and I'll get to it right there. All
right, cool.
Same session, they start saying anyone but Dabo. Like Dabo's not coming, but they can't even offer. And this was a two-part. Everybody said, what if it's Lanning and Dylan Gabriel leaves with him to play at OU?
Wait, but he just came from OU.
I guess that's what.
Am I misreading this?
At Oregon, I guess OU is also Oregon.
Oh, okay. My bad, Mike.
That would be funny if you went to go play there. So
yeah.
If Lanning comes, I need to come in with an OC and move Tommy. That man just got through. Oh, we already fired folks. So
yeah.
November 23rd. I think that's when we're playing, right? Smart whenever. Yeah, I wouldn't leave it though. If I'm Kirby Smart, I've got a good thing going there. Stay there. So.
I mean, if you're Kirby Smart, you were about 3 or 4 points away from possibly getting to another national championship had they won the SEC championship. So you're good there, and you're going to have the number one quarterback in the country next year. So you're not leaving. You're not leaving Georgia.
So that was Sark, and there's also the Kiffin ones. Both those guys I would love if they wanted to come back as offensive coordinator. I just don't know that I trust them as head coach. But they're two of the names that people are floating out here. So this is a question. Hey, Britt, how are you doing? He signed extension last year and now retiring. Yeah, but extensions, I mean, that happens all the time. So that part, I really think it is the second part. And what she's saying is someone texted me.
Yeah, I agree. So
tell them I appreciate
from a client, huh?
Okay. Yeah. So that's actually true. Somebody watches football and she does stuff on.
Shout out to my sister-in-law Britt. What up? Love you.
Yes, thanks to my beautiful, lovely one. I love you. I think that the NIL was really kind of helped push him out the door. I don't think he was happy with how any of this was going, and then the transfer portal. So I think he was fed up with all of that, and I think that's the bigger thing when he pushed up. So
I think
I think this is true. Is this the cap when you were talking about?
Yes, okay. This is exactly what I wanted to kind of harp on. I think they want to get Lanning in there ASAP, establish him as a coach, and then let the players say, okay, what do y'all want to do? This guy's good. He did really, really good with Oregon last year. He knows the SEC.
Yep.
Let's stay here. But if anybody's jumping, I would rather, if players don't want to be there, just do what you got to do as soon as possible and leave. So we can kind of figure things out.
Yep. Facts. Raj didn't say anything important, so this must be a mistake. Let's move on. And I think he means it's a decommit. So if he gets right, he can still recommit. Agree with that. Dude, Terry out had a good arrow. He said, it's not so many words. Well, that's why he decided to go anyway. Have not seen the interview yet. Honestly, I got home late tonight from work. So I have not checked out a lot of people's reactions and kind of stuff like that. So I really know the announcement, and that's it. So I think E sent me a thing where somebody had changed Dan Lanning's Wikipedia page to coach at Alabama. It's already been changed back since now, but he said that to me earlier. So it might.
I mean, like I said, if Lanning comes, I just want to see who stays there and who leaves, and let it. I'd rather it just happen sooner than later, and let's just figure out what we have going forward.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you a question.
I have not. E. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. If obviously Saban's gone, so what type of QB battle do you think we'll have whenever the new coach comes in? Because obviously we know. You think so?
Yeah. I think Simpson. So we kind of touched on this last night. Or no, I'm sorry. This was a text message thread I had. I don't think Simpson stays if he doesn't think he has a legitimate shot at the starting job next year.
Right. I agree.
And I think that's why he stayed. So I think you're still gonna have you're gonna have a QB battle.
Yeah.
And not so many words. So
I agree.
You saw that one about I haven't heard anything about his family members or anything. That was the answer.
I've never heard anything about that. So
yeah,
that's news.
I would say no, just because he just got entrenched in NFL, and I don't want an NFL guy coming to college. Like it's just a whole different ball game, whole different beast in recruiting and everything. So love D'Amico.
Love
I'm
D'Amico
rooting
Ryans.
for the Texans.
He's having a great year. So shout out to D'Amico Ryans. I just think it's too early. He's his first year. He's got a good thing going in Houston. Took him team to the playoffs, and nobody picked going to the playoffs. So good for them. But too early for. I also heard someone say, "What about prime time?" I'm like, no. Dude,
no, I don't think that'll play here.
Plus,
with what he's trying to do at Colorado, I think that's the spot for him.
I think recruiting-wise, yes, but I mean, you just come off a 4-8 season. He's trying to build his thing out there. So now I wouldn't be surprised if I think his son Shador has already reached out and like, hey, Alabama guys, come to Colorado if you can. So, but we already knew that was going to happen.
I think the Texas person just wants to come out and beat Texas. So
yeah.
It's been a week's release a week. It's a shock to many, but the people needed to know what UA knew before today. Yeah. So it kind of makes me sad that I'm not in the know. Like I'm not one of those people that they're going to call ahead of time and talk to. But,
I know we got it. We got to get your foot in the door, man. I'm out here in Arlington, Texas, so I don't get to hear certain things. I just got to go off what I hear on the internet. But Herb, you're in Birmingham. We got to figure some things out.
I just got to start hanging out in Tuscaloosa more. That's all me. So.
Yeah,
Terry on the next round as well. Great stories about Nick and Terry, and and Kat doubles down on that one. So, the whole thing is just sad. That was sad. I don't know. It just became Alabama football.
Yeah.
Miss Beast called it before the year. Yeah, look, I'm not ready to root for Georgia. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we will still continue, Randy, to tune in your podcast.
Shout out to Randy and shout out to Miss Beast. Miss Beast. Green Bay Packers are playing at Dallas. They'll be here this Sunday, so should be a good game.
Yeah. Lanning, Norvell, and DeBeer. Yeah. I like the first and third for sure. Not sold on the second, but
I'm not sold on Norvell either. He's a great coach. I'm just right now I'm just leaning toward Lanning.
A guy. Appreciate
Shout
that,
Carlton.
So. Dylan Gabriel, QB1 2024. Dylan just gonna go wherever Lanning goes.
Probably so, yeah.
And Rex always been a big Randy fan. Randy's a great guy, man.
Randy's popular, man. I've noticed that Randy is super popular. I went grocery shopping last week and some random person came up to me and said, "How's Randy doing?" I was like, "Randy who? The damn Beast guy." I was like,
"Yeah, you know which Randy." Ross.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, he's doing good."
Yes.
But that's just Randy's popular.
Do you know that I get into a lot of places by saying, "Hey, my name is Herb, friend of Randy"? Easy.
I remember you telling me that.
I have not paid for food in a week at restaurants.
I remember you telling me you got into Studio 54 one time because you knew who Randy was.
Yep. Yeah. So how quickly do they move on this? I mean, if this has been in the works for a week, have we already called somebody? Have we already moved to somebody?
Listen, I'm pretty sure everybody had names in a hat and a list going. I would not be surprised if Dan Lanning was in Tuscaloosa by midnight. To be honest with you, or at least by early tomorrow. You got to get him in there ASAP before the whole program just starts crumbling. Get him in there.
Is there a good ASAP Rocky junk in here, or just let it go?
I don't know. No, okay. Just establish him as coach and say, hey, we got a good coach. No need to jump ship. But even with that being said, yes, some players are going to leave.
Yeah.
Because they were recruited by Saban. They came there simply because Saban was there. So it's going to happen. On a positive note, we are going to a 12-team playoff. So if we happen to lose,
why are you starting that already? We're not talking about that already. We're not. No. I'm having a tough enough week already. No.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's it. But and Kat's also saying within 72 hours. So those two go hand in hand.
Yeah, you got.
And this is a funny one. Yes. If they hired Norvell, that just be it. FSU would leave the ACC.
Wouldn't that
tomorrow.
Be funny? Norvell would come to our program just to ruin things, just out of spite.
Wow.
You guys were the reason we weren't in the playoff. No, you lost 63-3. Calm down.
Yep. Carlton, I think NIL and everything else. Milroe actually got his heart pumping a little bit more for good and bad reasons.
I mean, we made it to the playoffs with Milroe, so I don't think that's the reason. And we went through QB issues in the past prior to a while back, so I don't think that was it.
Yep. I'm not sure about him. I think he's just my favorite choice out of the names I've heard, but
Yeah.
I don't think a $20 million buyout is like anything anymore.
No, it's like that's it.
One of our buddies is paying like 75, so 20
Yeah.
seems like, hey, look
What
at
is
the account
what is
to get some
Jimbo?
change up.
What was Jimbo 75?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His was
That's
so
ridiculous.
So no, I think Lanning is just the top choice, and
Yeah.
I know that you got to move quickly. So
Yep.
at least one of my favorites. I'm not a fan of Lane taking over or Sark taking over, and honestly, I just haven't thought that much about any other names. Now, Randy, if you want to give us Kirby, if that's what you're saying, that's fine.
Yeah.
But until
I
that,
heard
we
about-
got to go with some other stuff.
I heard something about Glenn Schumann too. I think he's a DC at Georgia. He's familiar with both Alabama and Georgia program. But he's young, but I don't see that one happening. But those are pretty much the main names that have been,
Air Raid. I mean, who knows? You might still get it. Who knows? You just
Yeah.
might have to go to his house to get it, but that's it. So, yeah, the playoffs just went over. Yeah, I agree. And another reason why FSU is trying to leave the ACC too as well. So they're trying to get pushed out there. So yeah, this like Sir Rex, I'm not happy about the NIL transfer portal, the way things are changing. I also don't I don't like the way the conferences are realigning either.
Yeah, that's
not
I'm
the
not a
sport
fan
that
of.
I enjoy watching anymore.
Yeah, but we're still gonna watch it forever. So
I mean, we don't have a choice, but
yeah,
I'm not happy. I'll be that old guy on the porch going,
Yeah.
"Oh, back in my day."
Yeah.
So that'll be me for sure. So yeah, I agree. I think this is, like I said, one of his better coaching jobs out of the last 3 years, even over the Bryce Young in the championship game one. You just really saw real growth, and the team is in a better position than when it started this year, and obviously the team's in a better position than when he took over. So you can't fault him for leaving, or sad to see him go, but man, never, we ain't. Doors always open. He's a legend. He should never have to buy anything ever again in Tuscaloosa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think. Yeah, I agree. I know that was a name thrown out, but I'm not on board with or hope so. So, Schumann is a hot name. We're receiving pay raise after what LSU did with their new DCR. Yeah, I saw LSU was just opening up the checkbook. So, TV contracts are up in 5 years. I don't know if you're talking about for SEC or for.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
ACC
that one.
is longer. So right.
Yeah.
That conference, yes. I don't know anymore, Rex. I'm gonna miss the Pac-12. I'm not even like.
I'm definitely gonna miss it.
I'm gonna miss the Pac-12. If you look at the championship game the year that they're ending, that's ridiculous. I mean, I don't like it.
If you look at the top 10 for 2024, like the top 10 teams all come out of Big Ten and the SEC. That's pretty much what it is. There might be one team that I'm missing. I don't know where Florida State ranked on that one, but I mean, it's pretty much gonna be Big Ten SEC. So.
Mm-hmm. And Randy, I'm not posting your comment about trying to steal our players already. That's just rude.
Oh, come on. Come on, Randy. And those are the two names that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will post that one, though. Thank you.
That's a good-looking pullover. Oh, my gosh. I have a feeling when Randy typed it up, he did this. Yeah.
So now you try to recruit. So I mean, if you want to send us some Georgia merchandise, we can't do that. My parents live in Tuscaloosa. We can't switch our teams.
Right.
But,
right. Cannot do it. Well, I'll never be able to do that. It's in our blood. So it is what it is.
And there goes another one. Might stretch out a couple more minutes and end on one of these notes. Lanning, Sark, Muir, Kiffin, and Raj.
Hey man, I will say I'll take the job, but you don't got to pay me a lot.
Oh yeah, we did win that soccer championship. What? 20 years ago?
Yeah, that was 01, 02, I forget. Yeah.
I'll switch my team if we hire Dabo. I just don't see that as. I don't even see him as in the running or wanting to come here. To be honest, I don't think it's. I think mutually on both sides we're not calling him. So you're ready. Yeah, I know, Randy. You just want to get as if Georgia didn't have enough good players. You're already preseason number one. You don't need anybody. If anything, every time an Alabama player decommits, Georgia should have to give us a player.
So let me ask you this, Herb, before we jump off. But let me ask you this: who are 3 players that you would want, like your 3 main priority players for Alabama?
For next year?
Yeah, obvious. No, for last year. Yeah, for next year.
Oh, for last year?
Okay, come on. Come on.
I mean, Caleb Downs, Justice Haynes, and one of the quarterbacks.
That was the only reason I asked, because I was going to see if I wanted to see if you were going to say Milroe or not. That's it.
Yeah.
So anyway, it is what it is.
ESPN is great. Dabo, yeah. Oh no, I agree. Right. I think I've seen on the list. I just don't think Dabo would want to leave, and I don't think Alabama's going to offer. But I've seen the list. But the list also have like Bill O'Brien on it. So I'm taking every single one of them with a pound of salt. So not even.
And I'm just gonna.
The podcast buyout right now currently sits at $5.55 and a king size Reese's peanut butter cups. So
not even $6.
No, we ain't up to $6 yet.
$6 and a bottle of Buffalo Trace.
$6 and a bottle of Blanton's.
Yeah,
you can get us.
Okay.
There you go. So, yes, I am a channel member. So POD sub members only right now if you care. Oh, definitely here to get. I miss Randy tonight.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't get home until about 8
I missed him too.
So.
I didn't. We didn't get home till super late. So I don't even know what time we got home. It was late. Yeah. So I missed Randy.
Of course, he decides to retire on the day I get home late, and I'm like trying to catch up. I'm sitting here at a job, and so like all I'm doing is getting text message.
Yep.
Stuff. Yep. All right. Anybody have any last thoughts? We're gonna have to jump off here in just a minute. So Urban Meyer, not on our.
No, we're not doing that.
No, they would shoot. They would shoot him at the state line. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh wow, that was harsh.
Closer to retirement than taking a new job. I could agree with that.
I mean, we saw the black eye the other day at the basketball game. So.
Yep.
I don't know.
I agree with that. Dabo can just stay where he's at anyway. So
Dabo's way of thinking would not fit today's college football program. So.
Yep. All right, final thoughts, Raj, on this before you get up out of here?
No, like I said, I'm going to be really, really anxious to see what happens in the next few days, especially within the next week. And hopefully when we do our next show on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll have a lot of good things to say. Yeah.
Who do you hope it is?
Honestly, I would go with Lanning. I looked at the names that are being thrown out there, and Lanning is the one that I'm cool with, unless Kirby has a change of mind. No, in all seriousness.
He said Herb and Roger the best. Hey, so if we got Kirby, would you come on over with Kirby, Randy? Do we get Randy and Kirby? That would be great. So,
in all seriousness, I got Lanning. I mean, I'll take him.
There's another one. Well, yeah. So I always feel like I'm gonna mess up his name. That's why I don't say it that much.
DeBoer? Is it DeBoer?
We would learn it if he came here, though. So, like I said, we'll let everybody get their final thoughts. Thank you. So, amen to that, Mike.
We share the same sentiment, Mike. Man. Thank you, Coach Saban, for everything you've done over the past 17 years. We appreciate it, and we just hope things can continue.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And Kat, definitely. We had to share our pain with everybody. So this was one of our shock or surprise live one. So
yep.
Like I said, we've heard that name a lot too as well. So I'm not mad at it. So how surprised on a scale of 1 to 10 would you be if they announced Lane Kiffin as the next coach?
Probably about an 8, to be honest with you, because I just don't think it's going to happen. And he would salivate over it. He would jump. He would do it.
Did you just use the word salivate?
Yeah, I did use that word.
You don't sound very happy about it.
He would take it, even category. I'd be about an 8 if that actually happens. So even though his name's being thrown out there, I'd say an 8. So
it is 6-ish. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think Lane would jump and ask how many of his transfers wanted to retransfer with him.
No, Lane would do a press conference and it'd be like, "Get your popcorn ready."
Yeah,
that's it.
I think Lane would do it in like nothing but a Speedo in his press conference just to let us know what was about to come.
Oh man.
He's probably. I agree, Jeremy. Always good to hear from you, bud. So.
Yep.
All right.
Hey man,
we'll definitely have more. Something else happens. You'll see another. Like if they do announce the coach this weekend, we'll do another small pod, and then obviously, I guess we have our subject for next Tuesday.
We already do.
So
I don't even know if we'll have time for questions of death. Yeah.
What?
I don't even know if we'll have time for questions of death, but we'll figure
on Friday. It out. We can't. We have questions of Saban on
gotcha.
On next Tuesday. I'm sorry. Excuse me. So,
gotcha.
When are we going to have a happy podcast again? It's been
Tuesday.
A while.
I have a feeling over the next few days we'll be okay. We'll be happier once things settle down a little bit, if they do.
What does make me happy is everybody's comments, questions,
appreciate y'all.
Thoughts. We definitely appreciate it. Obviously, a lot of y'all have way more information about it than we do, so we appreciate y'all passing it along. Like I said, the only reason why we went live is to get everybody's thoughts, so we appreciate it. Urban Raj podcast, another
Peace out.
Excited episode. Love y'all. Have a good night. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.